hear everything's good? Headsets work? All good?
Everything's working.
Everything's fantastic.
And it's a monumental day
Got
today.
ourselves some brewskis.
I don't hear anything.
God bless it, Archer.
Fuck with you.
Do we want that door open?
Yeah, no one's here.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I take that back. Steven's making dinner for Cayman, so I'll close it.
All right. Well, head to while he does that. Dudes like us, welcome to a November 6th post-election day podcast.
The next day.
We got a special guest again. I think this is for round number 3, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Going for the try quad
3, I believe. Yeah, I think you're right. 3.
What's wrong with you? Why do you keep coming back?
It's lonely.
It's a lot of fun. Come on.
It is a lot of fun. I got to tell you, everyone that's been on this podcast, and you guys know, everyone's had fun. This podcast is a hoot to come on. The experience is great. The environment, everything around us is quite cool.
Yeah, you get to
it's eclectic.
You get to bullshit about different things that are going on, and
it's right there. Well,
Nice.
Dudes like us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I am Jeff.
And I'm the guest, Larry Cuvion here. Hello.
There you go.
And we are super. We're excited. It's another 4 years that has passed. We have another president in office, and
I'll tell you what, this is a completely different feeling than it was in 2020. The next day, I was depressed. Just like all the libs are depressed today, right?
Right. But were you screaming it?
No, that's a small percentage that are doing that, and there unfortunately on the lib side that there's some I just think mentally weak people that do that. And they do it into their phone and then they post it, and that doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand that.
I mean, there's banter, but there's a difference between there's just some hate out there. I mean, and it's one thing if it's hate. It's another thing when it's hate on false premise. Like you're not even saying things that are true and you're angry about that. If you're going to not like somebody, then not like them for the right reasons. You can't say misogyny. It's just a whole bunch of things. It's like, look, none of that's true. He raped somebody. It's just, it gets ugly. I'm like, man, that is not true. Where is it that he says he's raped?
Right.
I mean, he's not, and he's surely not a convicted one. And now granted, and I've said this 100 times, I'm not a huge fan of the Donald Trump personality. I think he's kind of in his own little bubble. Yeah. He's a nice guy, but he's a nice guy in his own way and on his terms, but who cares? When it comes down to it, I had a lot of bosses in previous jobs and they were complete pricks, but you know what they did? They ran a tight ship and they ran a great business and it was successful. And if people can focus on that, then, we shouldn't have any issues. Just who gives a shit about his tweets? Oh, they were mean. Shut up.
I told a number of my liberal friends who were going to vote for Kamala, and that was really just it was a not vote for Trump vote.
Right.
Vote for anybody but Trump. And I would tell them, look, Trump's an a-hole. I get it. And it's okay to not like him, but look at his policies.
Yes.
Look at his 4-year term versus the
shit show that
we got going on now.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, some of the
but of course it didn't change their mind because
the people are dug in one way or the other.
Well, some of the fears are he's gonna export a lot of my friends because they came from another country. They're gonna wipe them off the United States, out of the United States. He's gonna say, oh well, guess what? My buddy that wanted a sex change is no longer. They're gonna fund that. And he's in prison, and God bless. I feel bad for him in prison. He's gay, and he's a guy, and he wants to be a female because he's a female inside, and now they're not going to pay for that.
No, don't go to prison if you're gay and want a sex change.
It's not safe for you there.
Well, no, you're not going to get it. Sorry, that's part of your punishment.
Yeah, and also in the military, it's like why would you expect the military to pay for sex changes? Right. And these are all things that the administration was. The Democrats were running on is to support that kind of stuff. And I don't know, man. I know that some people may need a sex change because it works for them. Maybe they're 30 years old or something and their frontal lobe has been developed and they can make some cognitive choices because, I've met some pretty dainty, flamey dudes before. Like, yeah, you are a chick.
I don't think flamey dudes equates to being a girl because there's some masculine guys.
There are. Bruce
Jenner. Yeah. Who do this, right?
That's true too.
I don't think. I don't know. Did he ever come out as gay?
I don't know. I don't think he's ever. So. I've never heard that. And
I
he
don't
still
know.
has junk too, by the way. So
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't follow his stuff. But I don't think the femininity of a male
I got a centerfold.
dictates
Oh, nice.
if he wants to be a woman or not. I just think it's a mental.
Yeah, when it boils down to it, it's a mental disorder.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but I think in terms of this election, I mean, it's not something to run on.
No, it's not.
It clearly this.
How's that going to? What's that going to do for me?
Yes, clearly this country it wasn't resonating with the country, and when they were doing the exit polls, and not even the exit polls, they were doing polls about what the top issues are.
The economy,
and immigration.
What's James Carville say back in the Clintons? It's the economy, stupid.
Right. So it was the economy and immigration came up 1 and 2 like over and over and over again, and they said nothing about closing the border. They said nothing about what the policies were for their economic policies, what they actually were. She would say, well, just go to my website, right? And there's actually nothing on the website.
I'm going to have an opportunity economy.
Right. But what the
fuck does that mean?
But when she was, doing her word salads, she would just talk about abortion, women's rights, and it was all fear-mongering. Yeah. It was Trump's going to take away this, Trump's going to take away that.
They're still talking about that.
I know
where, they're going to be locked in cages and they're going to become slaves and lose all these rights and everything. I'm just like, no, you're bought into the fear and the fear-mongering that social media promulgates and the mainstream media, which I don't know if they're mainstream anymore. I don't even know if I'd call them that anymore.
No.
I think they're becoming irrelevant media.
I think they
I
are.
hope so.
And clearly, Bezos got the message. Right, Jeff Bezos. He told the Washington Post that he owns it. Right,
he owns it,
and he told them that he is not going to. They're not going to endorse anybody this, and they freaked out about it. Right, they lost like 250,000 subscriptions. But Bezos came out with a very solid statement. He said, "Listen, journalists and journalism is and mainstream media is polling worse than Congress, like in the 20s.
Right.
People don't trust it, and they don't watch it, and they don't believe it, and we have lost credibility." And we need to get back to our roots as journalists, and we need to, we need to report the story and the facts, nothing else. And so from now on, we are not going to, endorse a candidate. And it was a brilliant statement that all of the mainstream media, the heads need to read.
Yeah, the Washington Post folks flipped out when they read that.
Totally.
Basically, we're going to have to be held to standards now, and we're going to have to report both sides.
Correct.
Well, I watched, I didn't watch The View, but I watched a meme about the intro of The View today.
Yeah.
And, they kind of handled it with grace as well.
I watched the first about 5 minutes of it, then I was like, this is disgusting. I just turned it off.
Yeah, I didn't even get past that, but it's just the opening of it, you had a fat farting Whoopi was there, and, what is
Joy Behar?
Joy Behar, she even was like, well, this is a democracy, and every time I hear that, I'm kind of like, you realize we're a republic, right?
Right.
It drives me crazy when they say that.
Right.
We're not a democracy. We're a republic.
Right.
You're not a threat to democracy. You're a threat to the republic.
What are the ratings for that show? I have never turned on The View. I don't know anybody that watches The View. But I always seem to know what's going on The View.
Okay.
So,
because of what they play clips of it on the news. I hear people talking about it. Oh, did you hear what Joy Behar said?
For its audience, which is, middle-aged women.
Yeah.
Probably stay-at-home moms and that kind of thing. It is a massive.
What time does it come on?
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Well, it started in 1997. Barbara Walters used to be on it. And
they used to be semi-respectable.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's I think when who's the big fat one that used to be on there? Rosie O'Donnell used to be on there. That's when it kind of started going a little sideways on it, I think.
A little hot opinion.
Yeah, the hot opinions, because she's a hot opinion of herself. But have you seen some of her clips recently?
No. Oh, about after the election, you mean?
No, well, it's before the election. I don't know what she's saying now.
Oh,
but
boy.
Well, let's go back to Larry. The rating is currently, the average is 2.5, according to IMDb.
That's a review.
That's
not the rating.
Oh, reviews. God damn it, Archer.
It's obviously highly. It draws in a lot of viewers.
It makes money.
Yes,
is what it does.
Clearly, and it's catering, and their opinions are obviously catering to their audience because they're not. I mean, they do have the one person that's supposed to be.
She's not.
Well, and it used to be Hasselbeck, right? Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of fought them, and then there's supposed to be one now, but I don't think she's very strong.
No, she's not. Then you had the McCain girl on there, and she basically fought it for a while, and she's like, "Yeah, screw this, I'm out."
Yeah, John McCain's daughter. Right?
Yeah, and she felt well. Okay, so as of October 15, 2020, the View had the following ratings: total view 2.5 million.
Yeah, it's
up
a
6%.
It's a big draw. So clearly, it's working for that station, right?
Back to the election yesterday. By the way, Trump won. Case.
Ding,
Did you hear the news? Did you hear
Yeah.
the news?
Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge.
Donald Trump won. Yeah.
Huge.
Did you guys yesterday in the day,
Right.
and yesterday afternoon, were you like me? I was like a nervous
Skittish.
mess.
Oh yeah.
No, I stayed away from news until about 8:00, and then I turned it on. I think my wife is like, "Let's look at it real quick." And I put it on. And I was like, "All right, the shit's just starting to come in."
Oh
well,
yeah.
I wasn't
Right.
watching the news because there was nothing for them to report, right?
Correct.
There was just
Right.
a trickle of votes that had been come in and counted. But no, I mean, my anxiety, I guess, was for what was coming later in the
Oh, yeah.
evening
Well,
when the votes
Yeah,
did
Larry,
start.
Larry was sending me text messages.
I did. I texted Sean. I said, I'm like really nervous about this.
I wasn't super nervous, but I did think there was a good chance that he wasn't going to win because the Democrats were going to pull some shenanigans again.
Right.
I 100% thought that, and
I did
I
too.
purposely look. I don't still trust them. I know Donald Trump won, but I think they just held out. I know they probably had opportunity to do things,
I think that she was losing so badly.
Yep.
they just let it go.
It
Yeah.
was.
Well, they found
It was too big to rig.
they
is what they were
found
saying.
over 100,000 votes in Michigan that they didn't allow because they were duplicates.
Right. Same handwriting, same whatever.
Right.
So I mean, it's happening.
Well, also, Laura Trump was spearheading all of the lawsuits and watchdog to make sure it was above board this time.
Yep.
She was doing like hardcore. Every state, they were making sure that everything was above board, and the opportunity may not have been there like it was last time.
They watched it carefully.
Yeah, they did a much better job this time.
How was y'all's voting experience? The wife and I voted a week ago Monday
Well, Jeff almost got thrown in jail.
Yeah, I got yelled at.
for because early voting here in Texas. So the wife and I go to the Carrollton Library to vote. There was in the middle of the day on a Monday. There was no line.
Yeah,
It was-
perfect.
It was in and out.
Oh yeah.
And there happened to be a guy who was working as a clerk or a helper with the election thing, guy that I know. So I stopped and I chatted with him and I asked him if he had ever done this clerking thing before. He goes, "Oh yeah, I did the last presidential thing 4 years ago." So I asked him, "Have you noticed any difference between this cycle and 4 years ago?" He goes, "Oh man, yeah." He goes, "There's a lot more people." And he said, "Also, there's a lot more like old people and disabled people." He goes, "Man, I don't know how many like old Vietnam vets I've seen, 400 pounds with their knees are shot, but they're waddling up here, man. They're here to cast their vote."
Absolutely.
They want to be heard, and I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
excited about it. You know,
That's my only thing. Is
Why did you almost get thrown in jail?
Yeah. What's your
Yeah,
story?
walk
I
us
didn't
through
get,
that.
I didn't get thrown in jail.
well,
but,
no, they were like about to take the gun out.
Yeah.
Did
Did you get a-
sir, can you put your phone away, sir? Sir,
They were
sir,
about to tase me.
put
Did
your
you get
pants back on.
Don't tase me, bro.
Did you get a sex change operation when you were in jail?
Yeah, I had them pay for it. That was my motivation.
Nice.
No, so we went in there. It was me,
bet you were
Sean, Sean, and my son, Steven. You met him out there. And we went up to our polling station. I went in there, and again, I don't trust them. So I was stupid, and I took a picture.
Well, you
of
know
my
what? I don't think you're stupid. I think you were ignorant about the moment.
Well,
you know?
then I took a pic. I was thinking, I don't trust this, so I took a picture of my ballot after it printed out. And the lady's like, "Oh, you can't do that. That's illegal." And she said it very loud.
Oh
did.
I was
no! And everybody like
Called him
stopped
out.
and looked at you.
And I stopped and I stared at her. And she's about this. She's small,
Like Yoda. She looked like Ruth Westheimer.
and she was staring at me, and I was staring at her, and I was thinking, "Is this worth it?"
You're like,
And I was like,
Is
your
what worth
battles,
it?
buddy.
Wait,
Pick your battles.
and I was
you
like,
taking her down? Like, what do you mean? Is it worth it?
no, it's like,
Answer, it's not.
do I fight through this or I just, because I know it's illegal.
I want to scissor you.
And, it says no,
Going down,
no,
bitch.
no phones in there and everything.
Bitch, you have no
so
idea.
I just pulled it up and I showed her. I was like, I deleted it. And she's like, thank you. And then I scanned it and went on my way.
Then you immediately pulled it out of your phone trash.
That's crazy.
So I'll tell you how to do this.
No, why? No,
For all
why?
those voters out there, while you're at the scanning booth, and
That's
you're
the
punching
part
in
that
your
I was
stuff,
not very smart about.
When it prints out, you just kind of stay in there. You put the little sheet on your little booth, and you get your phone out and.
Why? What's the big deal? I mean, obviously, it's not a good idea to have phones in general. But
I don't know. Why is it illegal to take a
what is
picture
so
of your
illegal?
own
I
ballot?
don't
why?
think it's illegal to take a picture of your own ballot. I think it's
she
illegal.
said it was illegal.
It's illegal for you to take your phone out, take pictures of the process that's going on in there. That's what
maybe
what
it's
it
just
is.
having your phone out.
Yeah.
Is
You're
probably
not-
what's
you're-
illegal.
Because there's signs everywhere that says no cell phones.
Right.
Yeah.
What did your ballot look like? Mine was like a long, skinny
Yeah.
sheet of
Yeah.
paper.
With a
Yeah.
little corner.
Yeah, and I was
on the
holding up
side.
going like this.
Dog ear corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing. You were holding.
As I was walking to the thing, I was
oh
like,
no!
so I wasn't very
Jeff.
smart about it. But I didn't. I wasn't thinking it was a last minute thing. I was like, I don't trust this process.
Life lessons.
I don't remember that mine had anything printed out on it that was even readable.
Yeah,
It was
Oh, yeah.
it has all the
Oh,
names.
yeah.
like barcodes and
Yeah,
stuff.
well,
on
you got
it.
to look to the left. There was a name on every single bar. There's barcode. Well, Jeff's gonna pull it out.
Yeah. So I mean, I voted. Our whole family went together, and I told them all, listen, when you vote and it spits out the piece of paper, you need to go over it and make sure that it has the what you voted for on the sheet on the ballot itself before you walk over and put it in the machine. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, no. You've already voted. You're walking the thing over to like where they count it. Before you walk over there, make sure it's right.
And when did Texas do away with
I
the
know.
ability for straight ticket?
Straight ticket. Several elections ago now. I don't remember the exact year, but it hasn't been there for quite a while.
It's the third year.
now. Yeah,
3 years?
This is the third year.
third
that's not-
election.
not-
yeah. Yeah, but it was I'm
Off of Google.
really surprised that not everybody does the early voting because I have voted multiple times on election day and it's a beatdown.
Yeah,
It's a total beatdown.
I did it a couple times when I was working. I was driving, and I didn't have time to do it during the day.
Right.
Even though your job is supposed to let you go to do it.
Sure.
But ever since I had the ability, and I was like, I didn't give a shit anymore. I was just like, I'm going to vote. So I'd go vote.
Yeah, nice.
And come up and do it. I was like, I'm leaving early. I'm going to go vote.
I'm
So-
going to guess that you guys are in favor of early voting.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, I am too. But the proponents of it are, well, that's kind of a problem because if you vote for candidate A on Monday and then on Wednesday it comes out that candidate A is a drunken pedophile,
Oh, right.
you can't do it. You can't take your vote back.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, yeah,
How,
but how often does that
often?
happen?
Yeah.
At least 1 out of 10.
But I understand what you're saying. If it's so early that you find out something, there's an October surprise, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not worried about that. But
Or if the
but it's a
candidate-
good point.
Or if your candidate dies, like if Trump died,
Oh God.
Yeah, then what do you do?
what happened?
What would have happened?
Well, if he died, obviously the vote is null and void. They're gonna have to throw someone else in there.
They would have to start over. I don't know what they would do.
I think they would take whatever vote you had and probably apply it towards whatever party they were involved in.
No, I don't
That would
know.
be
I don't know. I don't know what the.
Thank God we didn't have to go through that scenario because it was awfully close.
People that voted for Biden were dead, so what difference does it make?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
I don't think it was as close as what people are kind of saying it was because he made up some significant ground in a lot of these.
You talking about Biden?
No,
No, Trump.
Oh, he.
Last night. Yeah.
and he made up some significant ground in like dark blue counties, like Philadelphia. He was up, I think, 5 points from what he got last time.
He when I was looking at it last night, I mean, he was up 2 to 5 points everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
every
So they-
swing state.
CNN pulled
Everywhere.
up on their big map, and one of the selections they had, they hit a button that said, where in the United States, in what county is Kamala over exceeding where she should be in?
Right.
Those-
Nothing.
those zero.
Nowhere. Zero.
I mean, and
Nada.
there's a lot of reasons for that, but I mean, bottom line is this was really not close. It was
No,
not.
it wasn't.
It was not
It
close. It was
No.
really an
But
electoral landslide, yes, but 5 million votes more for Trump on the national
yeah,
vote.
but
on the
even
public-
though considering what you got, I was still shocked it was still that close. I mean,
I'm
in
not.
my opinion, I
I'm
think
not
she
either.
is so far fetched that I don't even know how in good conscience you can
Well, they
vote
think
for her.
about Trump that way,
Right,
the
exactly.
same way.
Then that's different. They're not
it's
they're
the
not
same.
mature.
No, it's the same.
They're not mature because they're not looking at the policies. They're looking at they're doing it from an emotional standpoint.
I don't think
That
all of them
kinda-
are. I don't think all of them are.
Well,
I don't
mean,
think the
if they're
majority of them
looking
are.
at if they're looking at Trump based on emotion, how else are they? Because they don't like him. If they don't like him, it's based on emotion.
No, I think you have Democrats out there who like those policies, just like we like Trump's policies. I know some Democrats who want specific Democrat policies,
but they're not voting for Trump because
I-
he's a jerk.
No,
I would-
they've always voted Democrat.
So they're just voting Democrat to vote Democrat.
No, because their policies
Yeah, but
are interested
But we
to
were
them.
talking about earlier. Harris didn't really cover
It's not
policies
connecting.
all that well.
we're conservative.
Yes.
They are liberal, so they vote that way. Those are their beliefs. Just
Yeah,
like
but
you have your beliefs.
Yeah.
They have their beliefs.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm not
they're-
saying their beliefs are wrong.
I am.
Well, they're saying our beliefs are wrong.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
So cut
What
it
makes us more correct than them?
because it's wrong to mutilate little kids for sex changes. It's wrong
I
to
don't
have
think
our.
I don't think the majority of people are saying
but it's
that.
still on their ticket.
That's
so
not, I don't
Yeah,
think
but that's
on
not
there.
why.
it's either one or all.
That's not.
So
that's
you know,
not
either
on
vote
there.
for one side or you vote for the other. That's kind of the thing. When you outweigh it, I'm like, well, you know, the Republicans have a better end of it. Everything on the Democrat side right now. I mean, yeah, everyone wants. If I lose my job, I'm going to want to be assisted with social help. You know, I want social assistance to help me get paid because I don't have a job. Or if I lose my house, you know, something emergency happens, you need these things set up. That's why we have government funded things. They've just taken it way too far.
Right.
Way too
They
far.
have.
And
That's
that's the point I'm getting at.
I understand your point, Jeff. I mean, everybody says, I'm going to vote for the guy that does the right thing.
Right.
Well,
Define right thing.
Yeah, what's the right thing?
Right. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Well, we know what
a
the wrong
big part
thing
of it.
is.
A big part of it is what you consider the role of the federal government.
Right.
Right. Conservatives think that the federal government should be very, very small and push all that power and decision making to the states.
Mhm.
Right.
Defend the shores,
Yes.
and pave the streets, and leave me alone.
And if you
Correct.
look at the Constitution, it's very clearly enumerated powers to the small federal government. But they've blown way past that in the last 100 years, right?
Oh yeah.
And so now the liberals believe, well, that we want a big, strong central government, and they should solve every problem that we have.
Right.
And they don't really understand the 50 states, 50 governments that are spread throughout the country. They don't really subscribe to that. No, and
Well,
it doesn't make it right or wrong. That's just, their belief on what they think the
Correct.
federal government's role should be.
On the Democrat side, you also have your socialists and your communists,
Yes, going
which
hardcore.
is a completely different belief system.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they're going to vote Democrat because that's closer to what they believe than what the
Absolutely.
Republican is.
You're not going to always align 100%. Like you were talking about mutilating kids. Like you said, Jeff, there's a ton of Democrats that don't believe with that. But you have to, you got to take the good with the bad, and you got to
Right.
align yourself with the party that has the platform
I don't know about
that
that.
aligns closest to what you believe. Otherwise, what are you going to do? You can't. There is no party that has everything you believe in except for the transgender thing.
Correct.
I mean,
I think
you
what
will-
this
yeah.
what this vote's going to do is it's going to force the left to
become-
pull themselves out of the gutter
Correct.
and move closer to the center.
if
correct.
they
You know,
they
That's what it's going
understand
to do.
If they have the
self-awareness.
correct, the self-awareness and the ability to do it, the strength to do it, or
Courage.
are they just the courage to do it, or are they just going to
The tenacity.
fall back? What
the
I,
bulls.
what I think is going to happen is they're going to start, and they've already started today. Some of these news programs started already prosecuting or persecuting Trump on what he may do.
Right. He
Right.
said he was going to do this. You voted for him. It's going to happen.
There's going to be internment camps.
I didn't see
He's-
that.
He's going to have they were talking about today.
What-
They're like there's going to be internment camps.
Yes,
They're
that's
going to be
just silly.
mass
Yeah, get this.
deportations.
So this morning at 2 a.m., I was watching at MSNBC when they called Georgia, and it was after they called Pennsylvania, and that's when they realized if that's right, this is really over, and they were digesting it in the moment. And Rachel Maddow went on a rant, and
Good
she
Lord.
goes, you people, for those of you who voted for Trump, he's been saying all along what he's going to do, and you just voted for him, and you're going to reap the consequences of your vote. And I was like, here we go. They're having this emotional.
And I had a buddy of mine I play video games with, and I'm talking to him this morning, and he's not a Trump supporter, and he's definitely not a Kamala supporter. He's in the middle. He leans more on the Democrat side than anything. He says, "Yeah, I didn't vote. I won't say who we vote, but he said that it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the stocks went up. Over 5%.
100 points.
Yeah. And he's like, I made $115,000 this morning. Off
That-
this, so
that-
whatever, man.
And by the way, that only happens if Trump wins this election.
Correct.
If Harris had won, it would have plummeted.
And the futures,
Yeah.
with the futures, Stephen looked at the futures yesterday as they were still tallying. He's like, holy shit.
Yeah, when they called Pennsylvania, suddenly the futures jumped.
No, it was well before that.
Oh yeah, well, could probably Georgia.
So I think the wealthy and the people in the know knew what was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm driving at. That's another thing that they don't look. Is it ignorance? I mean, is
What's
it
that?
ignorance that they don't understand the economics of it? Like James Carville says,
That's a tough one.
Well, I think what he's saying is you need to talk about the economy. They didn't talk about the economy once. She just said, I'm going to have an opportunity economy.
Right.
And I'm going to give everybody $20,000 for a new house.
And let's say
but
this.
that's not even for everybody. That's
Let's
only
say-
for certain people.
Correct.
And forgive your college tuition
Yeah.
debt.
So
Correct.
leading the lead up to this election, everybody was in two camps pretty firmly. I know there was a group of independents and centrists that were kind of on the fence, but it was a small group in my opinion. You were already all blue or all red, all Harris or all Trump. And when you're hearing, Harris say, we're gonna. We're gonna have the Bidenomics, and not. She didn't go that way because Bidenomics was bad. But she was convincing them that we're gonna have an economy that's good for you, opportunity economy.
Right.
So you're obviously gonna go, well, they're gonna make it good for me. Like they don't know really what that means. They don't really understand the economy. They don't understand the markets and how the capital gains taxes can affect this and that, and the taxes affects this and that. They just know that what they're being told is that they're going to have a good economy for me, and that's my party. I'm blue, and I'm going to vote for that.
Right.
Isn't it ironic that Ted Cruz's Democratic opponent, his last name is Allred?
Yeah, that's
You ever
funny.
think about that?
He got the shit beat out of him too, man.
He really did.
10 points.
I was relieved because remember,
Is that bald football player?
yes, remember Beto against Cruz was
Gah,
damn close.
That was narrow.
that was very
and
narrow.
I was thinking the next one maybe
You better
when he gets beat.
You better
when
sack
Cru-
those Dominion
Cruz
machines.
gets beat.
And they spent a shit ton of money
Oh,
on Colin
yeah,
Allred
they
here in Texas.
did.
Oh
I heard
my
160
God, there
million.
was like 3 commercials back to back every 5 minutes
And I
on
got
all the channels.
so many mailings, always on the radio, on the TV.
I'm a doctor, and I want my kids to be able to get abortions, and you can't get that with Ted Cruz. That's why I think he's a bad person.
Mhm.
What?
Ted Cruz has nothing to do with that. It's all at the state
No,
level.
he was making a joke.
Well, I know,
No,
but
that's what
but
they said in the
that's what they're
commercials.
saying. Don't vote for Ted Cruz.
that's
Ted
true.
Cruz doesn't have anything to do with that. It's at the state level now.
Well, make
So
no mistake
crazy.
about it. Ted Cruz, in my opinion, he's an a-hole. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a jackass.
He's kind of an arrogant.
But-
prick, yeah.
He does his job
He's damn
as
good at
a
it.
as a state senator, and he brings home the bacon to the state of Texas.
And he is a staunch conservative.
Very,
Staunch.
yeah.
I mean, and he will not compromise his ideals.
He'd
His
be
principles.
an excellent nominee for Supreme Court.
Yeah, he would be.
Well, I know, speaking of Supreme Court, they're already starting to bitch that now that Trump's going to be in there and that we control the Senate, that Thomas and Alito are going to retire now. And they're going to put up, 40-year-old
Oh, yeah.
Supreme Court justices up there. They're like, I'll never have a moderate or a liberal court in my entire life now.
Right. Yeah,
Oh.
well, that's just the luck of the draw. But we're not going to pad the Supreme Court. We could do that. The Blue was threatening to do that.
Oh, yeah, add another 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, they're going to add. Yeah, they add 4 people and lifetime appointments. It would be their Supreme Court forever.
Correct.
And we're not going to do that, are we?
So if you're Donald Trump and you become the president in January, whatever the date is, do you pardon yourself?
No, I don't think he's able to.
He won't need to anyway.
Yeah,
They're
I
gonna-
think that
he can.
No, but he won't need to. They're going to stop. I don't know if they're going to get rid of it entirely, but they're going to pause all of that all the lawfare, right?
Yeah.
All those legal challenges and lawsuits and shit.
The one guy, he's not even going to have a job by the time he's president.
If you're
Got-
Joe Biden, do you pardon Hunter before you exit?
He said he wouldn't do that.
I
think-
would if I was him.
I think you will.
You know what? If I was Joe Biden, if I at this point, because he says, I don't know if he already did it, but he's going to come out and do a national statement. I'd come out and I'd say, you guys fucked it up. You booted me off. This was all on you guys. Because they're blaming Biden at this point.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
And what the fuck are they going to do to him? He's out.
That's
He's
what I
done.
mean.
He's 83 or
What
2
does that-
years old.
What does
you
that mean?
can pardon whoever you want to. There's no political
No.
backlash. He's
No,
done.
what I mean is when he comes out and does his national statement to the nation on TV saying, President Trump won, I think he should go out there and say, you guys pushed me out, and call their ass out on that. And just pull them all out and say, you guys screwed this up, and I could have beat him. I beat him before. You were threatening the 25th Amendment on me, and this is what you get.
They've got to be bitter.
Stuck it.
His whole the Biden administration and all the campaign people and the Biden family, they must be so bitter
The donors, all the money donors.
The fact that they tarnished his legacy, right? He's a
They did.
lifetime
Yeah.
legacy in public office, right?
Yeah, but
not good, mind
the
you.
shit he said,
I get
mean,
it.
he absolutely 100% lied in his speech.
I know that.
He said multiple things that Snopes
Oh, yeah.
or left-sided fact checker.
I
just
totally
said-
agree, but
Yep.
he got totally undercut by his own
He did.
party. It was a coup, dude.
Oh, totally.
It was
a coup.
100% a coup,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
brought somebody without a primary, brought somebody into the presidential race with no votes.
I think the better classy move would be for Joe to pardon Trump before he leaves the office, before Joe leaves office, and to
Interesting.
pardon Hunter.
I actually think Trump should pardon Biden. To Trump,
But
Trump should pardon
Hunter.
Hunter. Yes, that's what I think should happen.
That would be a classy move.
It
too,
would be
but,
a very classy move.
but I think Joe would save a whole lot of face if he pardoned
Trump.
And while he's at it, here's another paper. Whose name is this? Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I citing
And
here?
it would kind of
Yeah.
take off some of the blowback on pardoning his son if he included Trump in that action.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe.
That's what I think.
Right.
It's all about reconciling as a country, right? I mean, we got to move forward from all this crazy bullshit.
Well, nothing changed today. Nothing's going to change in 6 months or a year. Hopefully all our wallets change,
Right.
right? But it's not like that's like I sent you a video today where some lady was like, I'm going to wake up a slave tomorrow. You watch that?
No.
Yeah, black lady. She was crying. She's like, oh my God, he just won. This was late at night. She's like, I'm going to wake up a slave.
The fear mongering was unbelievable.
That needs to be illegal. I mean,
nobody got time for that.
yeah.
No shit, man. No shit.
I thought it was a barbecue.
That was a good one.
Oh,
Sweet
great.
Jesus at the
Yeah.
fire.
Sweet, what's her name? Sweet Georgia Brown or
I don't
something
know.
like that. That's
I got a
greatness.
text. I got a text from a liberal friend of mine that lives in Austin. Go figure.
Go figure.
Yeah. Late last night, he goes, well, it's over. In his text, he says to me, well, it's over. Welcome to the shit show, America. And I thought I didn't respond to him because I didn't want to start
Right.
a
Open up
grass
that can of
fire.
worms.
I
Yeah.
thought to myself, dude, the shit show's been going on for 4 years.
Fuck
Haven't you
yes.
not been watching it?
Absolutely.
That's where we need the little sound bites,
Yes.
The
Oh,
little
yeah.
button.
Sure.
I ain't got no time for that.
Ain't nobody
Yeah.
got time for that. I got
That-
bronchitis.
Well, speaking of the elections, we had a local election specifically for Frisco ISD.
Oh, boom, boom,
and,
boom,
and,
boom.
and they all failed.
They all went down in flames.
And I think the reason for that it was too big for one thing. It was a $1.08 billion, and it was too big. And some of this, I mean, I agreed with some of it, like the teacher raises and stuff like that.
Lots of pork.
I even agreed with the technology, and that was $88 million.
Yeah, but the big one was $1 billion.
Yeah, it's important.
The $1 billion to fix up what I consider fairly new schools. They
Right.
consider 20-year-old schools old and decrepit, I guess.
You know what's funny? Shelly and I went to eastern Oklahoma. We were driving around all these small little towns, and we were passing these schools.
They're
And
old.
and you talk about dilapidated.
I know.
I was like, bitch, please. You want $1 billion to, if you compare Frisco schools against what we were driving through in those little towns, I was like, dude, come on.
I'm comparing it to what I went to school in.
Right.
And I'm just like, my school was old, run down. I didn't know any different, right?
Roof leaked.
I sat there and
Right.
I didn't have air
And
conditioning.
it was built on a radioactive race dump.
Yeah, we didn't have air conditioning. We didn't have heat. We just had windows we could open.
Right.
Potentially get a breeze in there.
And we were glad to have it.
Yeah, that's right. And I walked to school in snow uphill both ways. Which in fact I actually did. But
Oh, that's not possible.
Well, he had
No,
a
I
house
did.
on both sides. He went.
Oh,
the boys didn't believe me either, and I showed them the route. They're like, "Yeah, you sure fucking did." Didn't
so you did. Well, why didn't you go the route that you went into school? It would have been downhill.
Well, no, I had to. I started up here, then I went all the way down, then I went up again to get to school. So I went down into a valley.
Yeah,
to
just
get
bring your
back in.
sled.
No sled.
You know, the school buses.
Toboggan.
The school buses now are air conditioned.
Yeah, ours was not either.
No.
But anyway, $1 billion to fix up, and what I consider now, Staley was a thing of its own. That should have been by itself
Yes.
$120 million, whatever they need to fix that. Or
No.
in my opinion,
Tear it down, right?
in my opinion, they should just tear it down and move those kids.
No,
to
I think
different
that's what it
schools.
was for. I think that's
No,
why it was.
They wanted to rehab that.
Oh, I thought they would tried to, and then they found out that they needed to tear the whole thing completely down and rebuild
Well,
it.
they passed a
maybe I'm
bond a few years ago for $30 million to fix it up. But then they got in there and looked at all the piping and wiring. They're like, yeah, $30 million is not going to be enough. So they sat on that and put it on this.
Yeah.
They said we need, they put it into that $1 billion pork thing, and they were going to build a new one. In my opinion, we have how many middle schools? 40 middle schools.
A bunch.
There's going to be a close one to those kids there. Just send them to those other school.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is I think people think, right or wrong, they think Frisco's like not a city, right? They think it's a big town.
No, it's almost 300,000 people.
I agree, but I think in people's minds they live in Frisco or they live in Allen or they're not in Dallas, they're not in Fort Worth, right? They're in Frisco, which is they probably think it's smaller, so they see $1 billion number and they're like, what do we need that much for? But the reality is, like you said, it's a $300,000 small city, which like in Indiana or, a smaller state is a major city.
Right.
So it's probably not that much money when you consider how much actually
Well,
goes into
maybe
it.
not.
But I think they did a very poor job explaining what they're going to spend it on and the justification for it.
Well, my problem was I don't consider these schools old at all.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with
At
you.
all.
There's that, and then there's also the fact that how many years is a kid going to go to that school? So, I mean, elementary, you're there for, 6 years?
Yeah, about.
7 years? I mean,
If
elementary
they go
is,
to kindergarten through 5, yeah, 6
so that's
years.
5 years. So you have 5 years that you're going to have a community be able to send kids there. I mean, after that 5 years, they're done. Yeah, you ready for a beer, Mr. Larry?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Well, he was massaging an empty koozie,
He was like,
and I was like, "Is that a sign?
if it only
Is
had
that
a beer.
Yes.
This
I want a beer.
koozie's so low."
But it's like, but my point is that, once that 5 years or 6 years passes, you're done. So, I mean, it's a population thing, but I don't think that you need to keep building more and more. The only reason you need to build more and more schools is when the footprint of the city is starting to still expand. And then it's obvious you need to put a school there because it warrants it.
right,
But
like a new school.
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't need to, I mean, whatever. I just disagree 100% of that. And I am disappointed that the teachers didn't get their raise. And I will tell you that they should, and this is the part that bugs me. I wish that they would have a list and they wouldn't like bundle everything up. I wish they would like have a specific list. This is what we're going to do. And then that way you could cherry pick anything you want.
Right.
I guarantee it. And when it comes down there and you want to give teachers a raise, everyone would have hit accept on there.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you had separated out raises for teachers in its own
but when you bundle it up and
make
you
it-
slap $100 million figure on there,
big
you're like,
mistake.
golly, I don't know about that.
Right.
$88 million for this.
big mistake.
Well, to wrap that up, the last one, which was Prop D, I think failed like 70+%. It was a high failure rate.
that was the tennis.
The tennis facility.
It was a catastrophic failure.
Yeah.
in terms
I
of
was
voting.
hugely against that.
Me too.
Yeah,
Hugely
well, they
against
should
that.
have like put pickleball in there or something. That's a professional.
Well, that's
pickleball.
why. That's why all these.
probably
That's why they want. That's why they wanted that, because all the pickleballers are taking up all the other tennis courts around.
Oh, there's a massive
So do
tennis,
they use the
tennis
same tennis
versus
courts?
pickleball. Yes.
Hold on. So I thought pickleball had a smaller footprint, or it's the
No.
same size.
They're using tennis courts. That's what I know. There is a massive kind of two camps. The pickleballers and the tennis players, and they are not happy with each other. So especially the tennis players, because
Right.
the pickleballers are coming in and taking over all the courts, like you were saying. And
Yeah. Well, every school has a set of 4 to 8
Yep.
tennis courts. So why did we need a facility? Each school has that. Middle school and high
Well,
school.
apparently because the pickleballers are taking up all the courts.
That's what I mean. I'm not gonna pay $12 million for so and so Miss Tennis to go play.
All right, if you look at that little diagram on there, it says no, a pickleball court is significantly smaller than a tennis court. Standard pickleball court measures 20 feet
But
wide.
they play on the tennis courts though.
Yes.
Well, probably but they
probably because what they're
They
doing
play
is,
in that middle part there. They
yeah,
don't-
so they
Yes.
probably just use those 4 squares.
That's correct.
When
That's correct.
they could probably turn one tennis court into two pickleball courts.
Well, you got to have nets. It's
you just got to set up a net.
You
Yeah.
gotta have your nets. You gotta have your striping.
Yeah.
Your
you gotta have
bowls.
your wiffle
So
balls.
you
And
gotta-
so is pickleball from
Pickleball
North New
rackets?
Jersey or something?
I don't
or
know.
where's pickleball coming
and
from?
you got to get a special pickleball shuttlecock.
These proposition things that show up on these ballots, God, every election cycle, I read these things and I try so hard to understand them. But am I the only one that's confused by this? Because the proposition will read, are you opposed to disagreeing to not paying to have, I'm like, what? I don't.
That is a
Right.
triple negative.
Yeah, you're like, okay, cancel. So I am for this then, right? Or am
Yeah,
I
that's-
against it?
No. All you got to do is take a picture of it
Am
and
I
then
the
walk over to the poll guy and say, okay,
What
what
does
does
this
this mean?
Yeah, and get thrown in jail like Jeff did.
Right. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
She's reaching for her
I
gun.
can't breathe.
Put your hands on your head.
can't
Really,
breathe.
really.
Too soon.
God.
Let me see some hands, mister.
Jeez.
I just want to know if I need to vote for the tennis court.
And the last proposition is out in California, Prop 36.
Yes. This is a maybe there is hope for humanity.
Well, it is, because it was basically undoing all of the. You could steal almost up to $1,000 and get away with it.
Oh, that's absurd.
It was undoing. There's more to it than that.
Undoing it.
Yeah, it's undoing all that.
And they voted for it.
Yeah, but just the fact that they had it in there in the first place is
know.
just absurd. I almost wanted to go there and steal.
Right, and I think
That's not
Kamala.
true.
Well, you
but-
could have and
yeah.
gotten away with it.
Would my name have been in the system?
Yeah, they probably throw you in jail and let you out in an hour or two.
If
Yeah.
I'm white, do I get like anything?
Oh, that's a good point.
All
You
kinds
probably
of
might
privilege.
not have been let out.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
keep you.
Yeah, they keep you.
You can steal $900 worth of stuff, but by God, do not take a picture of your ballot.
That's right.
Yes.
You son of a bitch.
Yes.
That's right.
So when they have a cart full of stuff, do they go up and start scanning it and they're like, 980, okay, beep, beep,
No, it's usually a
990,
big garbage
beep,
bag.
beep, 1005. Oh, shit. I'm putting the Snickers
we
back.
had a solution
I'll
to
put the
this.
Snickers back and it's under
We
1,000.
had a solution to this to solve this. So we're going to just mark up everything 10,000%. And then when you get to the register to pay for it, they discount it by 10,000%. So if you take it without the discount, then it's automatically a felony.
Right.
And
It's
over
$1,000 worth
over
of stuff.
$1,000. A stick of gum, $2,000.
Like, damn it, that's expensive.
I
gum.
wonder how that would have gone, or if the lawyers been like, yeah,
It
no.
would never have flown.
I don't think that would have
I
flown.
mean,
So again, this
I know what you're saying, but I don't know. I'm sure someone thought of that.
remember, all of these bad ideas have unintended consequences. Right?
Gascon also got booted.
Which one?
Gascon, the L.A. district attorney.
He got booted?
He got booted.
That's huge.
Yeah,
Gascon.
Wow, that guy was a piece of work.
yeah. He
Yeah,
got
but
booted.
guy
But
from Little
remember,
Mermaid?
they because California's on the cutting
Beauty and
edge
the
of
Beast.
smart legislation to solve problems. Their government solves every single problem, right? So they were having
Except
people,
how to pay their bills.
Yeah, they were they're $3 trillion in debt. They were trying to keep petty thieves. They were overcrowding their jails. So they're like, okay, well, you know what? Really? You're going to jail somebody for an $800 shoplifting fee? Tell you what, if it's over $1,000, then yes, we should put them in jail. Otherwise,
Right.
No. Well, then they got smart and they started stealing $999 worth of shit every day and getting, arrested and released.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm almost. I mean, that's wrong. But it's just like, why are you releasing these people that are like raping people?
Well, I don't know if they did
Well,
that.
no, that's another thing. The no bail, no cash bail thing was part of this whole thing. They were releasing these people because, it's not fair.
Right.
They were pressed.
Well, maybe California's wising up, and that's good. That's good.
We'll see.
I was going to ask, I going back to the election. It was such a monumental election yesterday. So I want to talk about the things leading up to the actual, election day, right? We had Biden making the mistake of calling Trump supporters garbage.
That was huge.
Right?
That was
We
huge.
had Trump going on Joe Rogan's show.
Right.
We had J.D. Vance going on Joe Rogan's show. We had Kamala Harris refusing to go on the Joe Rogan show because he didn't meet her.
Well, she didn't refuse. He's like, well, you can come to me and we can meet for an hour.
Right. Well, no. She
40,
wanted
45 minutes, but you
40.
got to go to her.
Yes.
Exactly. She
Right.
made these demands, and he said, "No, I'm not going to do that."
Right.
So,
Hey, good for him.
and what else? What else led up to kind of in these final 10 days?
She had that interview with Brett Baer, which was a disaster.
Yeah, that was
Right.
a disaster.
Yeah. So she had a couple of public interviews and what have you that did not go well. We had the 60 minutes, editing of her answers.
Oh, yeah.
She missed the
Al something.
the dinner.
The Catholic
The dinner
yeah.
thing.
Oh, and the bishop was pretty rude about it.
which was hilarious. I don't know if you watched that.
Oh yeah, no, he was pretty good. I saw the highlights of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was good. Anyway, my point is, there were a number of things that, and then there were some high profile endorsements. Right, Joe Rogan came out pretty late and endorsed Trump. Elon Musk, of course, came out and endorsed Trump. Tulsi Gabbard joined the stage. Megyn Kelly joined the stage for Trump.
That shocked me.
I thought there
Megyn
were some.
Kelly.
Yeah, I thought there were some high profile endorsements that came out.
Hulk Hogan.
And then,
Hulk
well,
Hogan.
yeah,
Well,
right.
then Kamala got all the stars.
Right, she got Beyonce, and she got
The P. Diddy party.
Yeah, the P. Diddy folks.
The
Yeah, but-
get along gang.
yeah, but how does she not know that the American
J-Lo.
public couldn't give a rat's ass about Hollywood at
No,
all?
They don't.
They don't care about the celebrities. They don't
The
care about
stars.
fucking Robert De Niro and his like unhinged rants that he goes on. They don't give a shit.
Did he
about
have
those
another
people.
one?
No, I don't think so. Well, he probably
No.
will.
I didn't see it. There's
I saw something and I was scrolling, but I didn't know if it was just a repeat from what he did about a year ago
Yeah, I don't know.
or if it was a new one.
But here's
So,
what I was going to ask you guys. So just kind of summarizing all those things that happened right up to the election. I get it that, not a lot of votes were changing. You were Harris or you were Trump, but there is a middle ground people, right? On the fence and independents. Do you think any of those things that I just talked about swayed
I think so.
a significant?
I think so. I think
For
the
both of those people, probably not.
I think the Joe Rogan probably swayed some young men.
You think so?
I think so.
Because that's a huge demographic for Joe Rogan, right?
well, J.D. Vance did an incredible interview with Joe.
Yeah, he was good.
He's sharp, man.
He is, and very well spoken.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And he admits he has a sailor's mouth, which I appreciate.
His story.
Because he was dropping
Sailor.
bullshit and balls and cuss words during the whole
And
con.
did you hear him tell the story about his kid saying curse words?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And
Anyway, I was just curious what you guys, thought about that.
Well, I think it probably played how big of a role I don't know, but I think it probably swayed some folks.
Any good news is good news. And they did a good job. His team did a good job plugging them in all the appropriate spots.
Right.
And hats off to Elon Musk for speaking of Elon Musk, is he propositioning buying CNN? Did you hear about that?
I
I did not hear about that.
No.
I don't know if there was just bullshit talk.
Who owns CNN right now? AT&T used to.
CNN, I thought it, wasn't it, not
Berkshire?
Oh, shit, I don't remember. But his name
I
pops
don't-
up a lot.
I don't think any of these endorsements really changes
Warner
any,
Brothers.
Yeah, Warner
any
Brothers bought it.
voter's mind.
From AT&T.
I don't know. This is how I kind of look at it. You guys tell me if you think similarly. I see these endorsements that come on TV, and it doesn't really make me want to change my vote. But what it makes me think is, okay, that guy's on my team.
Right.
Beyonce, yeah, you can stay on that.
Any endorsement will not sway me at all.
Right.
That's probably what you're like. You're like, all right, well, Elon seems like he's coming to the good side. Or whatever.
But I got to tell you, I'm nervous about Elon. I got to tell you, I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about this perspective. First of all, he's a genius, super smart.
Sure.
I don't know if he's grounded with his emotions, considering his kids and his wife, but I don't even care. None of my business. Keep it in the home. Whatever's in his home, I don't give a shit.
Or compound. He's building a compound for his
good for him.
wives and families. Did you know that?
If I had his money, I would have compounds as well.
Right.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at
underground compounds.
Absolutely. 100%. Underground pools.
Big silo.
Oh, God bless. I'd have my own rocket ship.
Yep.
I'm going to Mars.
And your own limestone water with your own distillery.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, it's nice.
He's got how many? He's got a myriad of Starlink satellites out there in the United States. There was a visual, a graphic that showed all the satellites.
The Starlink, yeah.
Yeah, and then his satellites. And he damn near owns half of them, half of what's up there.
Right.
So it's like, all right, well, he's into AI. He's kind of the pioneer behind that program.
I see where you're going with this.
And he owns all these Starlinks around the God blessed planet.
Right.
There only comes a time where he's kind of like, okay, everyone's come here, please, and it's time for you to take your medicine. I mean, I don't know if he's going to do that. I'm not saying he's going to do that, but when you got one guy
that has
that much control, and mind you, his Starlinks, it does. If you are processing data through that, you think it's encrypted, and it is encrypted from A to B. But in that Starlink, they know how to de-encrypt that. Is that a word?
Well,
decrypt.
all servers
unencrypt.
All service providers could do that.
Decrypt.
Yeah, but my point is that he knows. I mean, his whatever Elon Musk's name is, as far as the company. What is the company that owns Starlink? Is just Starlink?
Starlink. Is Starlink a public company?
I believe so.
Then he doesn't own it.
Well, I mean, but still,
I don't know.
If it's a private company, he may own it.
Well,
if it's a public company like Tesla, he doesn't own Tesla. He owns a bunch of Tesla.
But regardless, it's just like it bothers me when someone else has that much control,
that much power.
It's almost like a monopoly.
And then if you try to arrest him, he'll just get on a rocket and go.
Whatever.
We can't even catch him. We can't even catch him.
When Bell Telephone had
could.
total control of our telephones, they broke them down into 7 factions.
They can still do that. They can do that with Starlink now. Well, I don't know now, but they could in the future.
But you see what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm forecasting. I'm kind of like, geez, can you imagine this? And it never happened.
Is he kind of like the bad guy in James Bond with the cat?
I don't think he is. I really don't. But
Goldfinger.
What happens if he mysteriously passes away because he got a flu and he dies, and someone has to take over? Somebody has to take over it because now people are dependent on these Starlink systems. We go out to Colorado.
He doesn't run the company.
But I mean, does he own it or not? We don't know.
Owning it and running it are two different things.
It's not like
he has a whole company.
But
he just makes a shit ton of money off of it.
But it's his business plan.
He doesn't run the company though, the day to day.
I think what the point is, he's not in a position to actually control the satellites, right? He's not behind a bank of monitors where he's
not pushing the buttons, but you don't think that he's got a department in there of development and all this magic stuff where he's kind of like, hey, we got control over this. I mean, just like Twitter.
It's a good point. I mean, it's a good point.
No, I agree.
You remember when Ukraine wanted to use Starlink satellites to launch an attack on the Baltic, the Black Sea base, Russia's Black. And then when Elon found out that that's what they wanted to use the Starlink satellites for, to help launch, like satellite guided drones,
he shut that
and
shit down.
He was like, "Yeah, I can't let you do that." So I mean, that right there is that's kind of
what I'm driving at. He
power.
has the ability to shut you off. Hey, yeah, sorry, nothing for you. No soup for you.
I'm not worried about it, but I mean, you raise a good point.
Yeah, it's valid.
I'm not worried about it either.
It is a valid point.
It's hanging in the mist.
Like you could be up at your cabin and they're like, "Yeah, Paul, you're not getting any data today."
Yeah. Did you vote for Trump?
I think about it just like
actually, it would be Harris. Did
I'm
you vote for
thinking
Harris?
about this.
I'm shutting you out.
This wonderful hue in this goblet Glencairn that we have.
Goblet.
It's a little.
Nice.
Are you wanting to talk about the bourbon that we're drinking right now?
I was proposing maybe we chat about it before time expires.
All
Larry,
right.
you want to start us off with? You're probably like, this shit sucks.
Well, hold on. What is it?
Oh, where's his?
You guys have a little bit left in your glass. I'm
Here.
sorry, I already finished.
Larry's
all my-
like,
Have a little more.
He's going to need another 5
There,
ounces.
top it off.
This is.
I guess he liked it, is what I gather.
Yeah, this is a fine bourbon. It's called Chattanooga whiskey, straight bourbon whiskey,
It's a single barrel.
Just single barrel.
single barrel.
So
is it
that's
says
what
right
makes
there.
the difference. It's not a rye. It's a straight whiskey bourbon. It's a single barrel Chattanooga.
Yeah, what's the proof on this one?
118.6, I believe.
That's healthy.
680 proof.
Oh, wow.
It
That's,
just evaporates when you pour it.
Yeah.
I'm drunk.
Damn it, I tried to suck it in.
No, I was
Oh.
gonna say I had most of this. I drank it straight out of
I
the
knew it.
out of your
We don't have
little
video.
glass that you have here. And when I
Yet.
had about one finger left still in the glass, I got my water bottle and probably doubled the volume of the liquid in the glass. I gotta say, it was like a whole new dynamic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, if you had water.
It was like more velvety.
Yep.
I was getting some vanilla in there.
Yep. And
I liked it with a little
and it
bit
can
of
be
water.
very little water. Like just several drops of water can make a massive change to that. And I think generally we're like, no, you got to drink it neat. You can't add water to
Well-
it. Don't be a pansy. But I mean, there is,
It can improve it. Just
It
like
can-
it
the
can.
Fray approved it for you.
amen. Actually, I didn't try it with water, did I?
Yeah, you did. That's what got you to drink it.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay. Well, then
Yeah,
I'm on
but
board.
the
you know
I-
what? I will try it.
I like.
Why not?
I won't
have
mix
tried
mine
it.
with water. I think if I want it diluted, and this is going to sound gross for a lot of people, but if I want to dilute it, I just take a smaller sip and then I use my saliva.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of diluting. It's about changing the flavors.
All right. So I've had it
By diluting
without
it.
water, and now I've added a little bit of water. So let's just see how this goes. All right. So continue discussing among yourselves.
So I thought with drinking it neat, it was very bourbony. It really didn't, it didn't.
It's almost
strike
too
me
much.
one
So
way or the other.
what kind of
But-
tasting notes do you kind of get in there?
But after I added the water, I got to say, I was like, man, this is fantastic. It was much more
Palatable.
velvety.
I taste a grapefruit brulee.
Wow. Wow.
Paul, did you
That's
have it
very
with the water? What did you think?
Yeah. Okay. So
With
So-
meringue.
drinking it neat, I'm not gonna lie, it had a hot
meringue.
it had a hot finish.
Yeah,
It had a
did.
very
little harsh.
it's very rich and flavorful, but it's too harsh for my taste. So adding a little bit of water absolutely dumbed it down. So
Yeah.
that's a good point.
I'm picking up.
That's a really good point.
I'm picking up. I don't know a little bit of that ridiculous grapefruit brulee, but I'm picking up. I don't know if it's cherries or some kind of sweet fruit. I think it may be some cherries.
Stone fruit.
Well, cherries are stone fruit, I guess, but yeah, some like the red fruits is what I'm picking up.
So
in it.
I've got,
Crazy.
I got notes written down, and I'll just read them because as I'm saying them, you kind of taste them, which is just odd. I don't know what it's like. I don't know if it's the power of suggestion, but I wrote down a baklava, allspice, chocolate banana bread, anise. I can't read my own writing.
And this is something you pull from the website.
Yes,
Okay.
toasted biscuit finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anise with a
I just
sweet
not
toasted
getting
biscuit
that.
finish.
Anise, that's a licorice flavor.
I think these bourbon stores that have to come up with these descriptions just basically go to ChatGPT and say, "Give me something original for what a bourbon might taste like."
Yeah,
because
but
it's crazy. What
I can
they
almost
say.
taste the anise a little bit.
I'm getting some little bit of oaky flavor. I'm getting some vanilla
raisins.
flavor.
Which you can say about any bourbon, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fair.
True.
But
But
I will say this: it's kind of crazy. I added water to this, and I actually taste some cantaloupe. That's a distinct taste for me, but it's with
That's
adding
the
water.
meringue.
It's with adding water. So
You sure you didn't just burp? Maybe you're.
I might have been. Oh no, it's on my screen. Yeah, that's.
I was at a distillery this past. We'll talk about it next podcast. But I was a distillery. But the tasty notes on one of the single barrels down there, I found kind of way over the top. It's so see if you can get this cinnamon rolls with orange glaze. This is the one.
So this is the one at the place you went.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
first off, who would even have had that before?
cinnamon rolls.
And you're
with
not saying it right.
cinnamon. What glacé?
No,
Cinnamon
roll.
And the next
Cinnamon.
one is butternut squash in a brown butter and sage
Oh,
sauce.
shut up. That's so stupid.
I even called that out when I was down there, and the guy was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, this is dumb.
And then apple
Take the
strudel
glass,
with puff
throw it on the
pastry.
ground.
All of that.
Hold on.
in
What was the last one?
Apple strudel with puff pastry.
Oh, with puff pastry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because apple strudel doesn't quite hit it. What would? Oh, puff pastry.
Well, the
Yeah,
butternut
I'll tell you-
squash,
Oh.
the brown butter sauce, and sage is what got me.
That's over the top.
All in all, I think it's got a it's not too balanced. I think it's got too much of a. I think the tobacco's a little bit too much. The tobacco leaf that you get, that dry tea taste that you get in there, I'm not enjoying that much. I think it's a little too astringent.
I think I think it's harsh. The finish is harsh. Without being watered down, it's harsh. So if I were to in the 118 proof range, right, I would probably give this a 6.3.
A 3?
6.3.
6.3.
Oh, a
6.3.
Yeah, because this is comparing to the rare characters
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that shit out there.
So
Yeah.
we have we've modified our rating system on a scale of 1 to 10 with 1 decimal, actually with whatever you want. And we also put them in separate categories because we realize that a 90 proof is different from 115 proof. We're going to have a lot of different tasting notes, and plus 130 plus has way different taste than the 90 proof. It's going to be way more difficult to and have different flavors.
Right.
So we broke them up in categories. Basically, we have 3, right? We have 90 to whatever, about 115-ish, whatever, and then anything over 125-ish, something like that. I don't
Something
know
like that.
exactly.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is right in the middle, and I agree with. You did? Would you do 6.3?
6.3. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 6.5.
That's why I was at 6.5 for me. It's good.
Larry, what do you think?
The comparative
Yeah,
to the
I'm
other
right-
ones, it's
Oh,
not
I'm
as
sorry.
good.
I'm
sorry.
right there with you. I wasn't going to do the decimal point. I was going to declare this. It's above average. It's not a gut rot, cruddy burp, but then again, it's not the smoothest whiskey I've ever had. I'm going to go with a 6.
Well, I know
All right.
I know the first pull I took off the glass was harsh for me.
Yes.
Real
Agreed.
harsh.
Agreed.
It's mellowed some,
Since
but
it's been open and it's sitting
Yeah.
here, let it aerate a little bit.
the first
You know-
pull was really hot, just
As far as legs,
And
it,
you
scratchy.
and you know what?
it holds its viscosity pretty well.
I mean, I have a higher expectation for a single barrel too.
That's true.
I mean, when they are deliberately pulling out a barrel that they think is good enough to bottle, and man, with that harsh finish, I'm like, there's not a better one than that one. I don't know. So I think it is fair.
Not smooth.
I think
Yeah,
it is
smooth.
fair to judge single barrels, a little more tightly.
I enjoy single barrels.
Yeah, I
Me
just
too.
belched, and it was a lot of the tobacco I got just
Oh.
came back up. So
Yeah, I can
All right.
smell it. Yeah, I smell you, Belch. Thanks, Jeff.
That's
it's a little
good.
gastric in there.
Got some on your belly.
Yeah,
Thank
that's great.
Don't
So
like-
you did so we've got 10, 15 more minutes left on the podcast. So the second well, first of all, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the thing. For our Dudes Just Like listeners out there, check us out on Dudes Like Us podcast or Dudes Like Us Woodcraft on both Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
For those listeners out there, if you check us out on all the RSS feeds, and we're on everything. So just look at Dudes Like Us podcast on any of the listening devices out there, whether it be iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, and we are looking for sponsorships. If you're interested in throwing $1 in, $2 to help us to get some videos, because we want to get
Yeah.
some videos up here.
And we're also looking at OnlyFans, aren't we?
oh
wait.
because what it's gonna be OnlyFans. It's gonna be our feet on the table,
Oh yes.
Oh, you know what? We could put cameras under the table.
just of our feet.
Oh,
Oh well,
I love it.
I've broken all my toes, so all my nails are
Three-
kind of gnarly.
3 sets of middle-aged gnarly feet.
Yes.
Oh, tell me
Sweet.
that's
speaking of-
that's
speaking of-
not an OnlyFans draw right there.
There's an audience for that.
well. Speaking
Yeah.
of OnlyFans, did you guys hear about the squirrel out?
Yes.
It's squirrel that had his own OnlyFans.
Peanut.
Yeah, Peanut. And
He's not on OnlyFans,
no, he had his OnlyFans.
OnlyFans is not all porn, believe it or not.
so it's a pornography squirrel.
What? No, you didn't listen to what I said.
I know, I did. All right, so Peanut, the squirrel.
Yeah. So this. So the story is that the owner of it. I don't have the exact the name on it. Mark Longo is his name. Mark Longo lives, and I don't know what state he lives in. New York, I think.
Yes.
Yes. It
Because
is
this is
New
the owner of
yeah, this is
ridiculous
the New
thing.
York government.
So Mark Longo was sharing that he watched the mother of the squirrel, baby squirrel, die.
Yes, got hit by a car,
Yeah,
and he rescued the baby.
Rescued the baby, and he brought it up, and he
For
he
9
thought it was
years.
cute, and just had fun with it. And then I forget how they procured or got the raccoon, but there's also Fred the raccoon.
Right.
So you got Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon, and they're family members.
For 9 years, they had
Yes.
Peanut.
It's crazy.
Yes.
And I guess somebody complained
And
on Instagram or something.
and it was a hit. Peanut the squirrel was a kind of viral.
Yeah, he had a bunch of
Followers.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Probably more followers than we do, and he's a squirrel.
Yeah,
Wasn't
he
they
does.
lived
Damn
in
it, Archer.
They lived in
Yeah.
an apartment building. Wasn't that?
Oh, he was in a house, I thought.
Yeah, I thought he was in the house.
by himself.
So somebody complained.
Yeah.
So Mark Longo, the owner of the Instagram famous squirrel Peanut, is mourning the loss of his beloved pet. On November 1st, Longo took to Instagram to reveal Peanut had been euthanized along with his pet raccoon named Fred by the New York State Department of
Unbelievable.
Environmental Conservation.
This is a microcosm of government overreach right here.
So instead of having this animal live a happy life where it was at, I'm just going to kill it.
Well, I think the story was somebody complained, and
They were
had
afraid of rabies.
right, and they came to collect, I guess, the squirrel and the raccoon to test them, and when they were doing that, they got bitten.
So why was Peanut the squirrel confiscated? It says on Wednesday, October 30th, Peanut the squirrel and Longo's other pet, the raccoon named Fred, were seized from his home by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. According to NBC News, the DEC received multiple anonymous complaints about Peanut and showed up to Longo's house and 6 other officers to take Peanut and Fred away.
6.
Oh, well, that's
In
Wow.
a joint statement, the DEC, the Keeman County Department of Health, say that they were coordinated to ensure that the protection of the public health
oh my
and related to
God.
the illegal possession of wild animals who have the potential to carry the rabies virus.
Dogs can carry the rabies virus.
I'll tell you.
What the hell?
I wish I had the
6 of them, 7 of them.
So look, I saw some video of they ransacked this dude's house because he had the. I guess he had them put away or something. I don't know. Or they couldn't find them. Maybe they were just running around the house or something like that. They couldn't find. They ransacked his house.
Oh my
He had the videos going. So
God.
this is my closet. This is my closet. And here's he's going to the drawers and things turned upside down and they broke a few things. And it's like, what the fuck, man?
This is unbelievable.
So I'll tell you another story.
Well, Trump jumped on it. He became a Peanut fan.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, there are memes
Well,
out there and everything.
It's just it's overstepping their authority.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
there
was.
comes a time where you got to have some grace. You got to have some compassion. You got to read the room, and what's going on, what's really going on here. If you had it for 9 years, they should have had one person show up and have a sit down and say, "Hey, let's go over this."
Right.
He wasn't stockpiling guns.
Hey, we need to test your squirrel every year for rabies.
Why
Right.
not say, deal. I'll put him in a little cage. We'll go up there. You test him, and then I take my dog. But I will compare this to some other domesticated animals. If I have a dog, and this has happened to one of the, I think Tyrus he shared on the Greg Gutfield show regarding his 2 dogs. He had 2 dogs. Somebody had jumped over his fence. Some nefarious dude jumped over his fence, and his dog bit him in the butt. And then the dog pound came in, and they took the dogs. They had to take both the dogs.
To test them.
Well, yeah, to test them. And Tyrus is like, hey, look, you have to leave the dogs together. If you separate them, they're going to attack you. Just leave them together and everything's great. And then they separate them, and then the dogs bit them, and they euthanized them.
Oh, my God.
So, it happens to, even domesticated dogs. It's just like...
I bet you that shit happens more than we realize.
All the time. And I just think...
If a dog does bite someone, a lot of the end result is if it's a bad bite, right?
Sure.
Is euthanasia.
I get it, but why are they overreaching to begin with?
Well, exactly. They shouldn't have come into this guy's house. But they should have done what Sean said. Hey, show up. Let's have a sit down. Let's let's test them. Schedule it every year. You come in. Maybe they didn't want to. Maybe they didn't want to get a word out there that hey, everyone can now keep squirrels and raccoons.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're saying
They went about this all wrong, though.
So you're saying
Why
the
not?
neighbor?
Why can't you keep a squirrel? And
Right.
can't you give a squirrel what they call it, with the vaccine? The
Rabies.
rabies?
Oh
Rabies
yeah. And the COVID and the
You
COVID one.
you
And
too.
get
the
it- you
COVID,
get it from
because
the
it
dog.
works so well.
It works really well.
Good Lord.
So you're saying the
That went sideways.
neighbor jumped over the fence and got
For
bitten
Tyrus's.
in the
No,
backyard?
it wasn't a neighbor.
It was
a nefarious individual. Someone
guy
that
trying
wasn't
to break
supposed
in
to
his
be there.
house.
Yeah.
See, you have to shoot them before the dog bites them.
Yeah. Well,
Then you're fine. Stand your ground.
but it's the point by saying that is that it's a huge overstep,
It's so
and it's a
dumb.
member of your family. For some of these people, it's
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
member of the family.
It's a
you
member
know?
of family for anybody that has a dog. For the
I
most
wish
part.
the animal rights folks would come to my house and take my 19-year-old multi-poo away.
19? Really?
Dude, she's the pet cemetery. She's
Wow.
You
That's impressive.
Is she in
kidding me?
pain, you think?
I don't know, and frankly, it's kind of hard to know that dogs are in pain. You know, I feel
Yeah.
bad. I mean, she gets up out of her kennel, and I call it it's the dead dog walking, dead dog walking, and she literally walks to the dog
it's-
door. She shits and pisses all the way to the dog door. She gets there, she's like, I'm fucking done, and she turns around and goes right back. So she never goes outside.
Larry, it's painful to watch.
Yeah.
Right.
So
She's
every
very,
time,
very old.
You know what,
So when
Sean? You might have the only scenario where the inspectors show up at your house and they're like, "Let me see this dog," and they're like, "Yeah, never mind."
she looks at him with those
Yeah.
two glossy, glaucomatized eyes.
No shit, and they're like, "Never mind."
Well, I
keep
always
your
worry
old dog."
about when the dogs get that old. What's their quality of life?
Yeah.
Are they in pain
Well,
or that kind of thing?
she would murmur if she were in pain. So I don't think she's in pain, but I don't think. I mean, you hear her when she gets excited because you can tell the way her little paws bounce around when this
19
Bronco-
years old.
Yeah,
That is
whatever.
unreal.
Yeah.
It is unreal. Just like the election with Donald Trump being, I'm super excited. Look, I'm stoked. I had some friends on Facebook like, hey guys, let's not overdo it. Let's not super celebrate. We got to respect all those
Dude.
people. I'm like, fuck them.
I
was like, I'm celebrating.
I was
I'm super
stoked.
excited about this.
I was super stoked. Anyway,
All right.
this is a very exciting evening.
November 6, 2024. It's a fantastic. Larry, excellent. Are you going to stay for the second half?
I would love to. Thank you.
All right. Well, dudes like us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
Jeff.
And I'm Larry. Hello.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. You're still here. Okay.